Hello, welcome to this video. We'll discuss in this video about measures of money supply. So before starting with the topic, just a brief introduction how it was started. So in the year 1977, Central Bank of India, that is RBI, introduced four components of money supply. So four components of money supply. Four components of money supply in order to measure the quantum and the variations in the money supply, because RBI controls the money supply in the economy. Just to see the variations and the quantum of money supply, RBI introduced four components of money supply. So it is known as M1, M2, M3 and M4. So we'll start with the detailed discussion on M1, M2 and M3, M4. So we'll draw one flow chart for the explanation of these four components of money supply. So here M1, we are writing M1. Here it is M2, here it is M3, and at last that is M4. There are two other names. So narrow money. M1 is also known as narrow money, and M3 is also known as broad money. Now what is why these two are saying as narrow money and the broad money, I'll explain in the few minutes. So first of all, we'll write the formula, that is M1 is equals to currency, we are denoting with C, plus demand deposit, we are denoting with DD, and the last here is other deposit. So OD. Now if we talk about M2, here M2 is equals to M1 plus demand deposit with post office. So this only difference. So first of all, we'll draw the flow chart and then I'll be explaining all these individually. Here M3 is equals to M1 plus time deposits with banks. Time deposit with banks. And the last one is M4. So M4 is equals to M3 plus time deposits with post office, excluding NSCs, that is a National Savings Certificates. I'll tell you why we are excluding this. Now we'll explain all these points one by one. Here the M1, narrow money. So it is why it is known as narrow money. When we know that we compare M1 and M2, we will get to know the answer why it is called narrow money. Now understanding currency. Here the word currency means currency in circulation, that is notes and coins issued by Reserve Bank of India. Small coins issued by government, like a rupee 1 note is issued by Government of India. On that rupee 1, we have a sign of Finance Secretary. And other than the rupee 1, all the notes are signed by Governor of Reserve Bank of India. That is why currency in circulation means notes and coins circulation. Notes and coins are circulated in the economy. The second is small coins introduced in the economy. If we consider the second point, that is known as demand deposit. So here demand deposit consists of two accounts, like saving account and current account. So here just understand the simple words. Here we are excluding interbank deposit. Now for example, what's the meaning of interbank deposit? Suppose the one branch of SBI deposited some amount of money in the other branch of Bank of Baroda. So this is just a transfer of resources from one bank to another bank, and it is not used for transaction purpose for the public. That is why we are excluding the interbank deposits. So demand deposit here consists only two things. Once again, saving account and current account. And we can withdraw these money with the help of check. It means these accounts are checkable. Now plus other deposit. So other deposit consists of a miniature amount around 0.3% of the total M1. So we consider three important points here. Other deposit means the other foreign central bank of any country. Like for example, if we take Central Bank of United Kingdom is known as Bank of England. Suppose Bank of England deposited some amount of money in Reserve Bank of India. So that comes under other deposit. Any other example, like any multilateral institutions like World Bank and IMF also deposited some amount of money in a Reserve Bank of India. So that is also comes under other deposit. Here we are excluding one thing like government deposit with RBI and the employees of RBI like pension fund and their depositors, we are also not including this in this other deposit. So these two we have to exclude. Now if we come about M2, here M2 is equals to M1. It means the whole thing, that is M1, these three C, DD and OD. M1 plus demand deposit with post office. Now the question arises why we are excluding these two. It means why the requirement of M2 is here. So demand deposit with post office is comparatively less liquid. Now here the liquidity means you can encash it a bit slow when we compare to the demand deposit with banks. When we compare demand deposit with banks means commercial bank and cooperative banks. Here the demand deposit with post office you cannot withdraw with the help of check. So that is why these are considered as a less liquid and this is considered as a more liquid. That is why we are having the concept of M2. Now considering about the third factor, that is broad money. M3 is equals to M1, it means the whole thing, that is currency, demand deposit and other deposit plus time deposit with the banks. So here there are two types of time deposit like fixed deposit and recurring deposit. So in layman language we use FD and RD. So time deposit consists of major part of deposit in our country. Around 60% and 70% is the time deposit with the banks. So that is why this is known as broad money, and here the narrow money because we are excluding time deposit. That's the main simple thing. Why M1 is known as narrow money and why M3 is known as broad money. Here the time deposit with the banks, it means they are relatively less liquid when we compare M3 with M1 and M2. So your time deposit with banks are less liquid. Suppose an individual make a FD for 1 year. If he wants to withdraw money in 7 or 8 months, he has to forego some interest rate in terms of penalty. So bank charges some penalty charges in order that a person breach the contract. So FD is a contract actually, and for 1 year, that is for 2 years, 3 years, it depends. But before maturity, if an individual withdraws money, it means it is a breach of contract. So that is why some interest has to forego and you can liquidate this FD and RD very easily. Now coming on to the M4. Here M4 is equals to M3 and the time deposit with post office. So time deposit with post office are relatively less liquid when we compare to the time deposit with banks. Here banks means commercial banks and cooperative banks. We are excluding NSC because this is of a temporary purpose. It means it is issued by government, and we are not including NSC in the M4 because it is not a permanent scheme. So here this is a concept of money supply. Another important factor when we consider about this, M3 became popular after there is a working group on monetary reforms headed by chairman late Professor Sukhmoy Chakravarti. So he led the importance of M3 in the Indian economy. When we consider in the layman's language, M3 considers all of the currency and the deposit which is in banks and with the circulation in the economy. So it means cash in hand with the cash in banks. So M1 plus time deposit with the bank. So M3 is one of the most important indicator for the RBI in order to analyze the quantum and the variation of money supply. So that's all for this video. I'm signing off and hope you like this video. If you have any doubt, any recommendation or any other topic you want to be covered in this video, you can mention easily in the comment box. If you have any feedback, you can also mail us too. The email ID is given in the description of this video. However, this is also important that we will bringing some macroeconomic videos in the next coming few days. So stay tuned for Ecoholics, and thank you so much. Have a nice day.